Here we go again. Cockroaches and credit risk. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, October the 19th, and quite the week in the markets. Pretty wild. And here we are. But in the meantime, I think a lot of the concerns and we should be worried about is the title, Cockroaches and Credit Risk. The credit risk between companies and between individuals and between banks has escalated. We are extremely deep in debt. The consumer, the supplier, it looks like an ugly picture going forward. And we've seen this movie before. This is not new. We'll see if we can actually get our way out of this. But is the question is the credit risk the canary in the coal mine? Okay, well, we'll see. Again, I've seen it before. You've seen it before. It's something that goes on, and we allow everybody to get so overwhelmed in debt, including the banks that are lending the money. So we'll see again. And there's probably with the lack of data and the lack of news, um, we must figure that the Fed is going to cut rates, even though inflation has been spiking. If you're watching the precious metals, which are a key indicator of inflation. But again, listen, markets do what they do, and we'll be ready for them. Germany's steel industry collapsing. The march towards green socialism. It's sad. I mean, a once great economy, a once great country, strong, now becoming weak and dilapidated. We'll see how it plays out. Uh, China in a large scale espionage scheme in the UK. Gee, are you shocked? I mean, listen, China is trying to take over the world, okay? And they don't care, and they don't care about us. And this goes back to Trump's trying to take control of China, and I agree. Okay, and I think that's the cause and the thought behind tariffs and whatever we have. I don't. China is not our friend. Okay, and they are not an ally. And I think that they are trying to destroy. And of course, they got a lot of help from Biden to get to that goal. But I think that it's wise that we take back control. And I think that that's what President Trump is trying to do. We'll see how it plays out. But certainly. I mean, listen, all countries have some forms of espionage anyways, so it's just a question of whether they get caught. 30%, 8% of home builders cutting prices, 68% offering incentives. Well, what does that tell you? Okay. I mean, when they're making deals and they're cutting prices and they're offering incentives, that tells you that there is not a demand. Okay. This is mortgage rates have come down slightly, certainly not anything dramatic, but mortgage rates have come down, yet the home builders can't sell. Okay. The people who want to sell the houses can't sell because we're at a point. The problem with being a by the month society is that the rates have not come down low enough for the people to afford the house they want, and of course the sellers don't want to sell because they can't afford to go somewhere new. And of course, they're all used to what that price is I could have maybe got for my house when the rates were lower, because of course it changes the pricing. It's no longer a true value of a house. It's no longer your house growing on inflation. Your house grows based on the interest rate, which is really ridiculous. The judges blocked Trump's firing of federal employees. I don't know. I think that that's the incorrect ruling. I think that when we look at the bigger picture, okay, and again, listen, I don't want anybody to lose their job, but the bigger picture is we have so many government programs, including the post office, that should not be in business anymore. Okay. And like any other business, people get laid off, people have to go. And just because you work for the federal government doesn't mean that you should be guaranteed a job. And it doesn't mean that we, the taxpayer, should be continuing to make bad investments. Okay, I mean that's really what it comes down to. Forget about it's government or not. In a free market system, okay, companies make it, companies don't make it. When the companies don't make it, their employees have to go. And I think that's no different than what we have now. And I think it's a tragedy that, our court systems are, first of all, fucked up, okay, because they're either Republican or Democrat, which is stupid. I think that judges should be voted in and not appointed, but that's a story for another day. Uh, our trade war with China continues to escalate. Now we're talking about um, port shipping fees. Good. Listen, everybody talks about the cost. Walmart has already said that the tariffs have not hurt them. In fact, it is helping their business and they're sourcing in the United States. Okay, but let's look at it from a real standpoint. The argument that always comes up is the grain prices. Well, grain prices are low here because one, we're in a stagflationary period, but more importantly, there's an oversupply worldwide. You have not had a weather issue, you have not had any issue anywhere, which all that really does is put you in a position that says, okay, if there's a higher supply and less demand, well, the prices are going to come down. Okay. And China's saying, well, they're not buying from us. Well, China buys from whoever they can buy the cheapest from. Remember, when there's a supply issue, and this time we're in oversupply, prices are going to drop, especially into a stagflationary period. So again, I don't buy the bullshit. Okay, uh, go woke or go broke. Hollywood productions keep falling. Well, think about it. Okay, I mean, they've been filming outside of Hollywood for years. I mean, Toronto was always a big place. Many other places around the globe have been places for filming. But again, look at what they're doing in California. I mean, do you want to pay in California? Do you want to pay the extra for to be there? I mean, it's stupid. Okay. The Senate candidate Moulton returns the Arab APAC money, the Israel money, pro-Israel. So, I mean, what is going on with this country? Okay. Israel, our number one ally in the Mideast. Okay. Now you've got Democratic senators or Senate people running for Senate giving back money that was given to them from the Israel Pact. I mean, I don't know. To me, I don't know why you'd want to go after your number one ally, but again, we have to continue to think about that. Um, so at the end of the day, okay, we have economy weak, stagflation on high alert. Interest rates, although falling a little bit, have not fallen anywhere near what they have fallen. If we go back a year, they're still relatively the same, but the Fed funds rates have dropped 150 basis points, which is not a good situation. So you look at the bigger picture, okay, and the government should stay shut down. I mean, again, what are we doing here? That's really what you have to ask yourself. What are we doing here? I think it's a problem. I think it needs to be resolved, and I think that we have to have our government do a better job with finances, but we'll talk about more of that in our commentary. This is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, October the 19th. We're going to stop out and have a break. We'll be back with our market report right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, what's going on? We've got, as you know, we have sponsors for the show, and we always have brokerage partners. And again, just full disclosure, I have other brokers, and but the partners we have the best are Tradier Brokerage, which again is $10 a month. Okay, I shouldn't have to say anymore. It's $10 a month, but they work with our automation if you choose to do so. They are getting wider involved. I save over $100,000 a year. Okay. We have Capital Trading Group, okay, who's our partner on a lot of futures and commodities programs. Okay. Greatest customer service. They do everything right. Great company. Check them out. They're on the sides and the back. And of course, our brand new app just launched for one of the companies we're invested in, the Joy of Mom. And again, it's a outlet and place for people to go talk, for moms to actually go talk and talk through different problems or whatever with things they want to do. But check it out, Joy of Mom. It's a great program. We're really excited about it. And of course, our high school program, which is phenomenal. And of course, we've got a whole bunch of new stuff coming out on financial literacy. So we'll have some new programs at very low rates. So in the meantime, check it out and let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, October the 19th. And of course, our market report. Well, kind of a crazy week, actually, when you look at it. I mean, after last Friday's thrashing, markets were up on Monday, pretty flat on Tuesday, rallied big Wednesday, sold off big on Thursday, and we're up and down. But the interesting thing was, many days during the week, they were up big, then they kept going down before going up. Bottom line, they closed slightly higher for the week, which means they're still in consolidation. But we do have, as we talked about in the opening, the canary in the coal mine. We do have things to think about. I would suggest that there's a much bigger problem coming. There are so many warning signs out there that should make a normal person puke because of what's going on. And the amount of credit, the amount of debt, it is a ridiculous situation. But again, we're not predicting anything. We have positions because they're based on where the market's at. Okay. But from a damage standpoint, there was no real damage done to the charts if you're a chartist. So again, I wouldn't get crazy. I wouldn't run chicken little, chicken little. I would just tell you that there's a lot of reasons to believe we could be going lower, but that doesn't mean today or tomorrow or next week. It means that you need to continue to watch and observe the market. But the good news is we've had 6 consecutive days of much higher volume than we've had of any 6 random days over the last 7 months. So that's a good sign for us who want to trade. The VIX got clobbered on Friday, which was fine. Again, it's still relatively in somewhat an uptrend. In fact, it came back to a place I drew on Monday. But anyways, so as we look, we're still short the 4 major indices. That has not changed. The dollar, okay, which we won't trade, but if we did, we'd be short it. We are short the euro currency. Bonds and notes dropped a little bit. But again, we're flat. We have no position. Bitcoin got clobbered last week. I mean, I think it's a surprise in how far it got clobbered. I mean, if you're a chartist, it doesn't look good, but it is very oversold right now. So it'd be something to look at if you trade it. Um, Gold, silver, and platinum had big up weeks, had monster, and I think they put a top in on Thursday night. Okay, and again, listen, I'm not predicting. I'm just saying to you, based on the way they went up, they had what we call in the business a key reversal. They exploded higher. I mean, gold was up $100 Thursday night. Okay, and ended up lower on the day and ended up down by $100. So that is a sign of what's called the key reversals. We don't have any position. We're flat, but I'm telling you that that's a warning. Now, again, I don't have any problem if you're buying physical metals, and we're going to do a webinar on physical metals soon. But I think that, again, there's nothing wrong. You're going to hold them. I warn you of this. If you're going to play in the precious metal or any field of trading or investing, don't over leverage yourself. Copper is still kind of chirping around after getting beat down the other day. We have no position. Grain markets look like they may have finally found some bottoms. We are flat. We have no position there. Cattle got clocked. And I think, as I said, I thought the tops were in. The hog market is looking for a spot to rally from, I think, here now. These lower prices. Natural gas had a rough week. We have no position in crude oil. Also had a rough week in which we are long. The bottom line is this. There are too many warning signs. There's a lot of things going on that don't look good. And the crude oil market is a big bellwether of the economy. Okay. Lack of demand for crude, okay, means that the consumer is struggling. Okay. We have high inflation. We have lack of jobs, everything, the stagflation. So keep that in mind. Okay. As you look at it, keep that in mind as you look at the markets. And again, I don't want you to get afraid or scared off. Investing is fine, but make sure you invest within your means. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horwitz. We're going to step out here for our final break and come back with, of course, my commentary and, of course, my wonderful football picks, which have been pretty much horseshit this year, but actually last week was okay. So we'll continue to give them. And in the meantime, let's step out for our break. What's up, everybody? Just a reminder of our sponsors, TRADIER Brokerage, Capital Trading Group, The Joy of Mom, and of course our high school program. And now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me and my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, October the 19th, and We talked about the government and the federal jobs and the judge blocking the firing of people. And yeah, we have to wonder something. Now, first of all, the federal government was never meant to be the biggest employer in the world. They waste more money. Okay. If you and I lived like the federal government, we'd be either broke or in bankruptcy court or in jail. Okay. But now you have an opportunity. Okay. And if you have to run the country like a business when you're spending money. Okay. When you're hiring employees, you have to be able to fire employees. And I think this was the perfect timing that we should have been able to reduce the United States federal payroll. Okay. Like any other business, if anybody's ever been in business, businesses go out of business, new businesses come to replace them. But we have a problem because the government, it's not their money that they're spending, it is our money that they're spending. So certainly you're going to have judges overrule because again, who do they go to? They go to the taxpayer. You and me pay those employees. Now, if you were running your business, and again, I don't want anybody to lose their job for no reason, but if you're running a business, do you want to keep paying for people that don't have any true use within a system? And I would hope the answer would be no. Okay. But we are the actual employers. We are the employers of the government. Okay. We vote them in. Our tax dollars pay them. Doesn't it make sense that we have to cut down spending? I mean, companies lay off people all the time because they need to worry about their bottom line. Shouldn't the federal government worry about the bottom line as well? Again, it's our money that they're spending, not theirs. They're not reaching into their pocket, they're reaching into ours. I think it's a crock. I think they should be able to, I think we should fire all the worthless jobs. I think we should end all the worthless programs. But that's a story for another day. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and of course, it is a football Sunday, and we do like the Cleveland Browns today. We do like the under in that game as well, and we like the New Orleans Saints against the Chicago Bears. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you back here again next week on Bubba's Bottom Line. Adios.